Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today from our sustainability department, public works, and beyond. I don't know. I'm just going to keep making up things every time you come on the show.
Changes
Phil.
every month.
How you doing, Phil?
Doing great.
We are talking about sustainability, and a big thing that you've been working on, and you actually talked about the last time you were here, is the Fitchburg Sustainability Plan. And the survey is part of the plan. We want to find out and hear from you.
Yeah.
Tell us again a little bit about what this sustainability plan is all about first, and then we can talk about why you should take the survey.
Sure. So Fitchburg has been prioritizing a number of environmental and equity-related issues for decades now. We're a recycling leader in the state, and there's a lot of tree canopy focus, and we're really trying hard to protect our watersheds and reduce runoff, and we've got our Healthy Neighborhoods initiative. But at some point, we decided it would be really helpful to have a more comprehensive sustainability plan that looks at environment, equity, and economy all kind of interwoven together, and helps us to prioritize a lot of these ideas. So we've put solar panels on our rooftops, and we've got solar water heating, and we're trying to pursue more energy efficiency and green fleet vehicles. And at some point you realize we have limited budget, we have limited staff, all these things are really important. So what are actually the priorities for the city? What are our biggest needs, and what's kind of the low-hanging fruit? Sustainability plan is going to help us determine that, what our path forward is and where we need to prioritize our efforts, so that we're not just sort of randomly shooting.
And why should a resident jump in and take this survey? If that isn't enough right there, why should they jump in and take this survey?
The more people who respond to this survey, the more input we have. We want this survey to be robust. We want it to be comprehensive. We want to make sure that it's not just sort of what you might think of as the usual suspects who are always participating in these types of things anyway. We really want everybody's input. This is intended to be a survey that captures the whole broader Fitchburg community, residents, businesses, even neighbors of ours. If you don't live or work in Fitchburg, but you still have any kind of vested interest in seeing us move forward in this path, we really want to hear from you. It's something that is, of course, the city council and the mayor and staff are thinking about this, and we're going to use our best judgment and discussions and research and resources that we have to decide what we want to do. But also the Fitchburg community is an integral part of all the decisions that we make, and we really want to know what the community sees as a priority. They're going to call things out that we may not think of, and so we really want to make sure that this is a partner effort between the government, the businesses, the residents, kind of the whole broader Fitchburg community.
This might be a little off topic, but how do we compare to other cities? Because that's got to kind of play in a little bit to this, I would think, too. Like, you want to know around the area that we're all doing our part and looking at these things, but does that kind of play into this, too? Because you've got other communities that are also working on sustainability, so we want to know what you're hearing, but people might be bringing ideas back here and whatnot.
We like a little friendly competition. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say we necessarily. We don't have any kind of a measuring stick per se that we're saying, how are we doing compared to our immediate neighbors, our regional neighbors. We definitely, for some of our buildings, we use what's called an energy use intensity, and so that's the amount of energy we're using per square foot of building, and we know that a number of our government buildings are ahead of the national benchmark for that building type standpoint. We're doing really well on some of our buildings. A couple years ago, in the first run of Dane County's Climate Champions Awards, Fitchburg received 4 different recognitions, so citywide for water use, and then 3 of our buildings, the library and 2 fire stations, received recognition for energy reduction efforts. So we know we are doing really well as a city. Of course, there's still room to grow. We actually just finished doing the energy data analysis and reporting for last year. Fitchburg has 2 major clean energy goals. One is that by 2025, we'll use 25% of our municipal electricity from renewable sources, and by 2030, 100% from renewable sources. As of last year, we're at 40% already. Wow. So we've passed our 25 by 25 goal. The next one is to try to get to 100 by 2030. It's going to be a little more challenging. It's definitely more aggressive, but we'll be pushing hard to get there.
For somebody who's on the outside looking in, or like, okay, sustainability could be a buzzword. It could be how do you champion people or show people that it is part of the future. It is the today. It is the now, and it's not just the buzzword, I guess.
Yeah, it really can be used in a lot of different ways, for sure.
Right.
You know, if I think that early on sustainability was seen as just another term for environmentalism, and there's a lot more focus now on environmental justice, environmental equity, but really making sure that what we're doing is prioritizing things that are environmentally, try to think of a word that's not sustainable, but things that the environment can handle for the foreseeable future, that are equitable so that everyone is benefiting, and we minimize the harm on individuals, on populations, on sectors of our community, and also that's economically viable, because if it can't be paid for, it can't be done. And so these three things being interwoven, sustainability is a buzzword for sure. There's a lot of different places using it in different ways, but ultimately this is about creating viable, robust communities that can continue to serve their populations and can continue to thrive over the long term. And if you're doing things that strip the natural resources of your local area, you can't really live there anymore. If you're doing things that are destroying parts of your population, then your community starts to die. If you're doing things that run you out of money, you know, these things are all. It's not just about being a buzzword. It's not just about being chic. This is about really creating communities that can survive and thrive together.
I think that's good to talk about, because there's a lot of things out there about being sustainable. But if you can move together as one, and you have priorities, and you're making a better place to live, work, and play.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's really important to think about is that it's not just sustainability professionals, it's not just environmentalists that are talking about this. You know, the U.S. government, the U.S. military is looking at sustainability as a central principle moving forward, because, you know, these organizations, a number of corporations are looking at sustainability, at ESG. These organizations are trying to figure out, how do we make sure that going into the future, what we do can continue to be viable. It's definitely something that is really reaching a majority of organizations. It's not just a kind of niche trend anymore.
Yeah. Well, if that wasn't enough to get you to hook onto the survey, I don't know what would be. So, Phil, if people want to take the survey, how can they do that?
So they can go to the City of Fitchburg website, which is fitchburgwi.gov, and either go to Green Fitchburg. There's a Green Fitchburg page that links to the sustainability survey, or just type in Fitchburg Sustainability Plan into the search bar on the city's website, and that'll also link you there. We're working with a consultant, Pale Blue Dot, out of the Twin Cities area. They're helping us to put this together. They've done dozens of climate and sustainability plans before, so we're really excited to have them help and lead us along. But those two links from the city's website will link you to the Pale Blue Dot page that's kind of the landing page for the Fitchburg Sustainability Plan. There's a survey there to fill out. There's also an application. We really want to make sure that it's not only city staff leading this, so we're going to create a planning team that includes members of the community to talk about, what does sustainability mean to Fitchburg, what are our priorities, what categories should we include, what actions do we need to pursue, what policies should council look to enact. So if anyone's interested in being part of the planning team, they can fill out an application on that page as well.
There you go. You can get involved in multiple ways. 7.5 minutes. That's what it says to take the survey.
7.5 minutes.
That's
Maybe
pretty
7
easy.
if you read fast.
Well, I mean, it's more like 8 for me, so either way.
There we go.
Well, Phil, thank you so much for the information.
Absolutely.
It's looking forward to seeing the results and see if people want to take sustainability here in Fitchburg.
Yeah.
All right, Phil, you can check out the website, fitchburgwi.gov, go to Green Fitchburg, and stay up to date on what's going on, because Phil will keep you updated there. Appreciate your time, bud.
Yep.